Good morning, guys. You know what today is? Is Monday Morning Chats with Sack, and Sack is me. I hope that you guys had a great weekend. I had a great, phenomenal, just all of the above week. Like my prior week was just awesome. I was able to one wrap up the semester. I have one last meeting. It was supposed to be last week, but long story with that. One last meeting with one of my students today, and then I'm done with the law school until winter break is over and we come back for the spring semester. Um, I got a chance to have some really good conversation with my good girlfriends. I don't believe in the term new friends, so I got a chance to talk to my college friends that I haven't talked to in a while or even haven't seen in a long time. I got a chance to talk to my new girlfriends. We just talked about like just having healthy dialogue, just healthy communication, just what it means to be healthy in all type of relationships. I want to be a winner at all aspects of relationships. I believe that in order for you to grow, you got to have good relationships with people. You know, success is not done in isolation, so it's always good to have good partnerships with people, whoever they may be. So, let me just give you a brief synopsis. So, last week, Christmas shopping, I'm almost done. Almost. I usually wait to the last minute to buy Christmas stuff, but because it's a pandemic, I did not want to take that chance. So actually, I went Christmas shopping a little early this year, like little very early this year. Um, so Thursday, I got a chance to have a good conversation with my girlfriend. We were just talking about all type of stuff. What does it mean to be safe? What does it mean to be mentally healthy? How to have conversations or how to have difficult conversations with people, whoever it may be. What do you desire? And it's so funny. I'll share a snippet of what we talked about. And somebody asked me the question as to, Sakina, I know you said you wanted to get married, but what happens if that never happens for you? Like, would you still be okay? Would you still feel defeated? Would you feel disappointed if you never get married? And I had to think about it like, wow. And then I had to hit them with scripture and what the Bible says. And I am a true believer that you get what your heart desire. I really believe that. And the one thing I share with one of my friends is that, you know, I'm a praying woman. Don't let the clapbacks on social media fool you. Like, I read my Bible every day. And I believe that when you really pray for something, God will give you the desires of your heart. And the things that you want, if He doesn't give them to you, maybe there's something better. So I told her, I said, well, I believe in God, so I know that whatever I pray for, I can actually get that. If it doesn't, I mean, that's just saying that God's not going to fulfill my desire unless there's something better than that. But I said, I truly believe that will happen. I just believe that God will give me everything I actually pray for, and He has. And I just went down the list. Like, I prayed for this, God gave me that. The only thing is, He didn't give it to me according to my time. He gave it to me according to His time. And I really believe that the things that we really want, we can have it. However, sometimes we may not get it when we want to, and we think that we're ready for it, but we're not. And He gave it to us at the right time. So I said, what's going to happen for me? But I just wait on Him. Another conversation. So Thursday was just a lit day. Like, I had, that was a virtual happy hour that was discussed. Right after the happy hour, I got on a FaceTime, like a group FaceTime with my girlfriends from college. And two of them I had not seen in over 10 years. And, well, one I haven't seen over 10 years. The other one probably like 7 years or so. And it was so cool to just see how everyone was doing. And we went to Bloomsburg University. So if you guys are not familiar with it, Bloomsburg University is in Pennsylvania. It's actually in northeastern Pennsylvania. So it's like in the, not too far from the Poconos. For geographic purposes, it is about, I want to say like an hour away from Penn State main campus. So if you're familiar with Route 80, we're on Route 80. And it is a state institution. However, it is a PWI. So you don't know what a PWI means. It's predominantly white institution. And we talked about our experiences being at a PWI and the unity among the black students. And I can honestly say that even though it was a PWI, like the relationships that was fostered there, they were some really good relationships because we were what we had to depend on, right? So when we go to classes, we don't barely see people that look like us. And being that we were in Pennsylvania, like I remember working so things that some people don't know about me if you didn't go to college with me is that I always wanted to make sure that I stayed out of trouble. So if that meant, staying out of Philly, or not saying that I would get in trouble, but sometimes you could be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And in college, every summer, I always went back to school to work. So I was a math tutor all through college. And I tutored for a summer program. So if students got admitted to college by a conditional program, I was their tutor, one of their tutors. And I remember one time at school, they had like a truck rally. Like there was like a truck rally not too far from us. And, some students, if they were near the area where they had a truck rally, they were being called the N word. Um, they were being called the N word. And that was the experience that we had. And we had to really like stick together. Can you imagine going to like one of those freshman seminar classes? It's like 140 students, and then you see about 5 people that look like you. And I was a political science major. So in my classes, there was, well, one, I went to a predominantly white institution. So yes, there was a lot of white people, but in my major classes, I rarely saw people that looked like me. And I took a lot of my major classes early on. So my freshman year, my sophomore year, I was pretty much almost done my major classes. Like I wanted to make sure that my last year of college was like smooth sailing. And I think I saw probably like one or two black females, but other than that, none of them. There's a comment. Yeah, that's true, Jeremy. Like we didn't have anybody, we just had each other. And those relationships, they continue after college. Like we're still cool. And even though I may not talk to them all the time or see them all the time, but when we connect, it's a really like amazing thing. Like the last time I went to homecoming, it was in 2014 that I went. And it was just like we had our own black community. Like everybody knew the black people at our school. Like everybody knew. And if you were Greek, everybody definitely knew you. So when I was in college, I was a math tutor, I was a writing tutor, I was an orientation workshop leader. So you know how like when you come to college and you're going through orientation, I'm the person that give you the tours. And then I pledged my senior year in college, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. I was also a part of the Black Culture Society. So that's where like all the black, like I think some schools have like the Black Student Union. That was our Black Student Union. Like we got together. And then the one thing that I really, really loved by going to a predominantly white institution was our black professors. Like our black professors, they really made sure that we stayed on top of our game. And sometimes they were a little harder on us than our other colleagues, but they only wanted the best. My advisor, his name is Dr. Abango. And I remember when I took his class, and he was just always calling me. I'm like, why are you calling on me? There's so many other students there in this classroom. Like, why are you always calling on me? And he was my professor for majority of my political science major classes. But I remember when I turned 21, my best friends, I lived in the townhouses on upper campus at my college. And my friends gave me a surprise dinner. And so usually my major classes, they were from 6 to 9. And I was so happy to like participate in my birthday, like just enjoy my friends. But I had a class that night. So I called my professor and said, hey, my friends, they gave me a surprise dinner. They decorated everything. Like my room was unlocked. They like decorated my room. Like it was just nice. And I was like, is there any way that I can not go to class? And he just gave me this whole spill about being professional and how, it's just your birthday. You can celebrate afterwards, but you are a scholar. Then he reminded me how much I wanted to go to law school and how law students, they show up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to class on my birthday. But after that, he stayed on top of me. And even before then, like, he stayed on top of me, making sure that my grades was stellar. And people used to call me a nerd. And my friends, during the conversation, I was like, so what do you got? How was I in college? They was like, you were Sakina. I was like, well, what the hell does that mean? They was like, you was focused. Like, you was focused on school, and you didn't really. I wish you had a little bit more fun. But the thing that I explained to them is that, if I had a chance to go back to college, I would have loosened up just a little bit more. Like, I didn't really start to party until my junior year, but by then my grades was already solid. I had over 3.5. I wanted to make sure I got to that place because I wanted to go to law school. All my friends, anybody that knows me from college, and I know so many people in college, they all knew that I wanted to be a lawyer. And so, because of this small community of black people, we always encourage each other. So, like, some of the people that I knew that was on the basketball team, the football team, and my friends and their friends, because they knew that I wanted to go to law school, they checked up on me all the time. The moment that I started studying for the LSATs, my friends were like, Sakina, you need anything? You good? I'll get these text messages like, Sakina, you got this. I'm proud of you. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't have that at a HBCU, but I can tell you that from a PWI, like, we really stuck together. Like, we really stuck together. And I'm so grateful because those relationships, like, they are my, like, circle of friends that I would have forever. And my friends from college, when I say that they supported not only my dream, but when I got to law school, my one girlfriend, her name is Kim. She's like the ultimate supporter. Um, she has this brand called Friends Support Friends. She talked about this in 2013. She now has it as a clothing line. When I say she is a true definition of a good girlfriend, like, she supports everything. And so if you can follow her, it's Friend Support Friends is actually on Instagram, and I can probably tag her on this video. But her clothing line is so dope, and that's who she is. Like, she supports everybody. Like, if you're her girlfriend, she's going to support you. I support her. She support me. Her daughter calls me aunt. Like, and those are the relationships that I got in college. In high school, I would say I still talk to some of my friends from high school, but the thing about me is that I went to 3 different high schools in 3 different states. So my first 2 years of high school, I lived in Florida. And I still talk to some of them, not all of them. 11th grade, part of my 11th grade, I moved back to Philly, went to Lincoln Hall. Then half of my junior year, some people don't know this, I lived in St. Mary's County, Maryland. So I went to Great Mills High School in Great Mills, Maryland. And I can say, even though it was country, I had so much fun. And I gained probably, like, I was at my highest weight. Like, I was like one ham sandwich away from being a big girl. Like, yes, very, very so much so. And then I moved back to Philly. So after my junior year, I think I spent like maybe 1 or 2 months in Great Mills for my senior year. I moved back to Philly because of my job, my mom's job. So I was like, look, I'm not moving back to Florida. I'm moving back to Philly. And so because of that, I didn't have those solid relationships as such. Now, my friends in Florida, like, I had one girlfriend. She's not like a girlfriend to me. She's like family. So we still keep in touch. Her family's my family. But my best friend, Melissa, I met her in high school. And we ended up being college roommates. So crazy how things work out. But yeah, I've learned a lot being at a PWI. Like, I learned so much. I'm so grateful. I still keep in contact with my advisor, my old boss, Dr. Wright. He gave me my first job as a freshman. And in my school, technically speaking, freshmen, they were not allowed to work. And I was like, listen, I am an independent student. For those that don't know what an independent student means, that means that you have no financial help. So pretty much your financial aid is based on your own income. So for me, I just had like a job at Bare Feet. If you guys are familiar with that, it's a fashion store for women. And so I was like, look, I need money. So I made it work. And people were like, you're not supposed to have a job while you're a freshman. You need to keep your grades up. I was like, look, I'm going to keep my grades up, but I need a job. Like, I'm paying for my books. Like, I'm doing all this on my own. But I don't never take it for granted. I've learned a lot. But my connections in Bloomsburg, it really helped my business. It really helped me as a woman. My friends from college are also my clients. And the first thing they will tell anybody, look, if you need legal help, if you need tax help, I trust Sakina. Because they know who I am. And my college friends, they're special to me because they remember me before the law degree and all that other stuff. Like, they remember me as just Sack. Just Sack that was smart as hell in college and that was a math tutor. And so I appreciate those relationships. But yeah, that was my PWI experience. I went to 3 different PWIs. So college, I went to a PWI. Law school, went to a PWI. And let me tell you this. Going to law school and a PWI, like, it's one thing to see maybe 5 other students that look like you in a small class or so, but just imagine being in those big classes, like 200 people, and you look around, you may see 1 other person that look like you, or 2 other people that look like you. But when you come back the next semester, you don't see them. That's a real thing. So yeah, college, that was law school, definitely. When I went back to school to get my master's, that was a PWI. I went to University of Baltimore. At that time, I really didn't care who looked like me. I was a grad student. I was already working. I was studying for the bar. I was like, look, I don't care who's in this class, so I'm just trying to pass. I got to keep over 3.0. So what do I need to do? And at that time, I was tired. I was like burned out. And people kept saying, Sakina, I know you're going to go back to school after this. Hell no. I'll go to a conference. I'll take a class. But am I going back to school again? Absolutely no. No, 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 no. So my last bit, and hopefully this will encourage you guys. I hope and pray that it really does. So Friday, December the 18th, I celebrated 6 years. 6 years of being a licensed attorney. And let me tell you that day, it still gives me chills. Like, it was the best early Christmas gift I could have ever asked for. And I still remember that day as if it was yesterday. Like, I still remember getting sworn in. So that was the day I got sworn in. I found out that I passed the bar October 31st, 2014. And I was working at Bloomsburg BNA. It is a tax publication company. I was working in Arlington at the time. And so my results were supposed to be posted online at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. And let me tell you, I was shaking. I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm so used to failing that I thought that maybe if I fell again, this would be normal. And I remember being at my job and I went on the website to figure out my bar results. Now, for the state of Maryland, they don't have your last name or your first name. They have your bar seat number. You get a bar seat number. So I looked online and I was like, oh my God, I passed. And it didn't hit me. And I was like, nah, they didn't let me pass. Like, that did not happen. I think there's a typo. There's something wrong. So I like restarted my computer and then went back on the website again and saw that I passed. And then the first person that I called was my dad. And my dad knew, like, if it's one thing between my mother and father, like, my dad is like, that's like my emotional person that I go to. So if I need to cry about something, I'm going to just go to my dad. And I called my dad and he didn't answer. And I just kept calling him back. And for some reason, I was getting on the MARC train to go back to Baltimore because I was living there at the time. And I actually live back here again. And my dad sent me a voicemail like, I knew, he was like, I'm trying to get in touch with you, baby. And I think you passed the bar because you keep calling me. So I called him. And I said, Dad, I passed. And he just cried. Like, he just cried over the phone. And it didn't hit me. I was like, I need to wait till they give me the official letter saying that I passed. I called my mom. Mom was like, I'm so proud of you. I called my cousins. Because when I get off of work, I would usually just stop by their house. I called my cousins. And I called one of my mentors. And he just, like, cried. Like, wow. Like, and then I called my study partner Leslie. You guys saw her on my Instagram. We studied together and we passed together. And I was like, I passed. And she's like, me too. And it's kind of nervous. Like, you don't want to call the person that you study with because you don't know if they passed or not. So it's like a touchy thing. And so I came to my aunt's house. They had like a chair decorated for me with like a balloon and a card. And it still didn't hit me. So mind you, it's Halloween. I already was planning to go out. And so I dressed up like Minnie Mouse. And my cousins, everybody's like, yo, Sag, I want to give you a drink. Like, you passed the bar. Like, I'm happy for you. It still didn't hit me. I was like, I need to wait till they give me this letter. And so that Monday, they sent me an artificial letter saying, congratulations, you passed the Maryland bar exam. And I was so happy. But then, when I got sworn in December 18th, I took my oath, raised my right hand, swear to abide by the Constitution. And it was a good feeling, but it didn't hit me. I was like in a daze, like, wow. Like, I remember getting dressed up that day. And I remember prior to that day, they were giving us instructions and they were telling us, make sure, you wear blue, navy blue or black. And I called my uncle. I was like, at this time I wasn't working. My contract ended for Bloomberg. And I called my uncle like, hey, I don't really have no money, but I really want to look nice for this special day. Can you give me some money so I can look nice for my swearing in? So he Western Union me some money. He was like, make sure you look nice. So I went to go buy this red dress from Calvin Klein. And I was like, look, I know they said black or navy blue, but I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I love red and I'm going to wear red for my swearing in. I don't really care what they had to say. So I wore red and I was just in the daze, like, wow. Like, can you imagine something that you wanted your entire life and you actually get it? That was that moment. I didn't know whether to cry, to smile. I just did everything. I cried last. And so when the ceremony was over and there was a sign outside the courthouse that said new admittees. And I held my certificate up and tears just started coming down my eye. And I went to my mom, I gave her a hug, and I was like, thank you for everything. But it wasn't until I hugged my girlfriend, Leslie. Like, we took pictures together, and as she's walking away, and I was like, all right, Les, congratulations. As she walked away, she probably walked like 3 steps away. I looked at her, and I said, Les, we are done. We don't have to do this no more. And we just broke down crying. Ran back to each other. It was like something you see in the movie. We ran back to each other. We gave each other like this tight hug. And like to this day, that is like my friend that shares a special bond with me. I don't share that with anybody else. And the moral of that is that me and Leslie, we took the bar 4 times. We failed it 3 times. We passed it on our 4th try. And I always share this with people. At one point, I was embarrassed that I failed the bar. Like, I was embarrassed and I didn't want to be around other lawyers until I got that one thing right in my life. But let me tell you that failing the bar was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. And you're probably saying, why the hell would you say that? Why? Because failing the bar, I realized, one, I'm human, and it's okay to be unsuccessful. Like, I always got things right in my life. Like, I was always a good student, always had made A's and always got awards. Like, I always got it right. You give me something once, I get it right. And this was the first time where it didn't work out right for me the first time. The second time or the third time. And 1, it taught me that I'm human. 2, it taught me that I'm going to make mistakes. 3, although I make mistakes, what did I learn from it? What did I gain from it? One of the best things that I learned in this process is to really trust God. And He will give you the desires of your heart. A dream delayed is not a dream denied. And that was a time where I said, God, I need you more than anything. Like, my prayer life has never been on that level until I fell. And I realized that I could study all I want. I could study night and day. I can study every single day. I can remember all of the different legal terms. I can know how to write an essay. But if I don't trust God, no matter how much I study, I'm not going to pass that test. And so the last time that I studied for the exam, I studied less. And that's when I passed. But I trusted God with everything. Now, don't get me wrong, when I got frustrated, instead of me studying for the bar, I took my behind to the bar. Yes, liquor. I was drinking. I didn't get inebriated. No, I didn't get crazy with it. But if I got overwhelmed, I said, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go to the bar because I'm not studying for the bar exam right now. But I learned to really trust him. And during the time I was attending New Psalmist Baptist Church, um, I went to the revival in my house. And another thing that I've learned too is that when you really want something, you got to speak that in your life. Like, you got to be very positive. And so in my studio apartment, like, I would have like sticky notes. Like, the moment that I walk in behind my door, say, hey, you got this. And I would have like sticky notes all over my studio apartment, even in my bathroom, like, hey, you are amazing. You got this. You're going to pass the exam. And I would read those things every single day, like every single day. And it gave me the confidence to know that, hey, I can do this. During that time I'm studying for the bar, I planned my first family reunion. Like, my first family reunion. While I was studying for the bar, I got a chance to find my family on my father's side. Like, I was going on Facebook, sending messages like, hey, you don't know me, but my name is Sakina Tillman. My grandfather is such and such. And tell me about being nervous? Yes. But I did all these things while studying for the bar. And I was doing the most. Like, I planned a family reunion, hanging out with family. But the one thing that I did, I trusted God so much more than the last times where I was unsuccessful. And that increased my prayer life. Um, and he gave that to me. And so if there's something that you really want, man, you can really get it. Like, you can really get the desires of your heart. And I'm grateful that I fell. Like, I had to struggle. And I know what it's like to work hard. And I know that if it's something I really want in my life, I'm not going to give up on it. I'm determined to win at all costs. And if I passed the bar the first time, I'm not saying that I wouldn't be a good attorney, but I'm a great one because I fight for my clients. I'm not going to ever give up my clients. I fight for them. And that journey, it allowed me to meet the people that I met today. Who knows, if I passed the bar on the first try, I probably would have never met some people that I know today. So it was all a part of my journey. And I share the story to my friends and people that I meet along the way, to never give up on your dream. Whatever it is, you can really have it. Don't take no shortcuts. Like, I never forget my first semester in law school. I cried because I got 2 B minuses and a C. And I never forget somebody told me, hey, you should just get all C's. If you get all C's and you can pass, you can graduate from college. You can have a 2.0. And I remember calling my best friend. And I called her. I was in my leasing office. I was like, I think I want to drop out of law school. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm not used to making these type of grades. Like, I'm used to getting over 3.0, and this is not me. And I would cry to her on the phone. Like, I would break down crying. I was like, Melissa, I can't do this, man. Like, yo, like, can you help me find some programs for me to get into? And so I started looking at programs. And the programs, law school, you got to take the LSATs. And some of the grad programs that I was looking at, you didn't have to take no GRE. Based on my grades, I'm able to get in and probably able to get a scholarship. So I was like, you know what? I looked at the programs. I was like, this sounds good. This sounds really good. And then I thought about it like, but it's easier. I'm taking a shortcut. That's not what I want. And I had to think about it. Well, if I go back to school for this, what would I actually be doing? And at that point, I realized I didn't have a plan B. Like, I didn't have one. My plan A was to go to Michigan, go to law school, graduate from law school, come back home, pass the bar, and be a practicing attorney. And so I'm here to tell you that stick to your plan A. Yes, you may have to do a little detours or whatnot, but stick to your plan A, because you just never know what you can do if you just never give up. Like, just never, never, never give up on your dreams. Never give up on yourself. Never tell yourself you can't do it. Tell yourself you can do it. And there's things that I want to do now as an adult. And I'm like, one, I'm cautious of who I say these things to. And two, I just know that if God did it for me before, he's going to do it again. So if you have a goal, don't give up. Don't take the easy route. You got this. I believe in you. Like, you really got this. I failed the bar 3 times, and I'm still a lawyer. There's lawyers out there that probably failed it more than me. It doesn't matter how long it takes you, as long as you get it done. So get it done. Get it done. I hope that this message encourages you to never give up on your dreams, no matter how long it takes you. Always remember that a dream deferred is not a dream denied. So the things that you want in your life, you may not get them according to your time. God will give you those things when he thinks that you are ready. And when I took the bar the first time in 2013, I wasn't ready to be a lawyer. But in 2014, I was. And that was a trajectory of like my trust in God, me making a commitment to just be faithful, and go to church. And now, because of his faithfulness and everything, I lead a Bible study now. That's only by God. And to tell you that I'm perfect, I'm far from that. But I had to go through things to appreciate the things that I have now. I never wanted to rush the process. I've learned to trust the process. I pray that you trust the process. Don't rush it. I pray that you get exactly what you want. Don't give up on yourself. God got you. I hope that whatever it is that you want, you go for it. Make sure you are around positive people that's going to uplift you. Please avoid negative people at all costs. I pray that this week is amazing. I pray that your Monday is spectacular. I pray that your Tuesday is amazing. I pray that your Wednesday is phenomenal. I pray that your Thursday is just extraordinary. I pray that your Friday is great. I pray that your weekend is lit. Never forget how amazing you are. Oh, last thing. I had ladies' night this weekend, and let me tell you, it was so freaking bomb. You need to get you some good girlfriends or good male friends and just have a good time. That was my outlet. We had so much fun. So I hope that your weekend was as lit as mine. And if it's not, you had this weekend. So Merry Christmas to all. I hope that you enjoyed this time with your family, and your friends and anyone that you love, and enjoy it. Take care, guys.